My name is Professor Martin Dirisamer. I'm from Austria, but also working in University Clinic in Munich. Today I was very happy to present about DMEK, so descemet membrane endothelial keratoplasty. I was part of an instructional course where we try to transfer the information how to avoid mistakes we made when converting into DMEK. So since DMEK is still for many people kind of a new procedure and still challenging, we tried to lead our colleagues through this stage of converting to DMEK in a proper way. So it's in kind of a stepwise approach, how to avoid mistakes and how successfully perform DMEK surgery. So as it's 10 years ago or even more, when Professor Gerrit Melles first performed the DMEK surgery in a human eye, it was a totally and completely new technique and surgery. So we had to learn from the very first moment how to successfessfully solve these problems. And I was very happy to be a fellow with Gerrit Melles for almost 2 years. And so I was kind of an early adapter in this field. So I made all these kind of mistakes in my career already. So it's not fake, I'm really talking about that, what's going on. Yeah, and that's what we try to teach our colleagues. So first, what I think very important is to make a proper surgical plan. So I was talking about these 5 Ps, which means a proper preparation prevents poor performance. So have a good choice of patients. So start with kind of easy patient, which means that there's no concomitant eye diseases. Choose the first patients as they're not even no diseases, but also easy to handle as well. So Fuchs dystrophy patient, pseudophakic, for example. Yeah, and then if you have to prepare the graft by yourself, try to choose probably not the youngest donor if you can choose. So go for an elderly donor, so it helps because the scroll is not so tight. Make a proper preparation of the patient as well. So we prefer the retrobulbar anesthesia. So what is important there is that you obtain a soft eye. So put an Hohner balloon, for example. Do an eye massage that is very soft. You don't have to expect a vitreous pressure during the surgery. You really want to avoid that one. And yeah, during the surgery, it's what we learned in the past is the incisions are pretty much the same as with cataract surgery. But then if you implant the graft, for example, you look for a very good stain. So stain it twice with trypan blue. And during the injection, do not overhydrate. Look at the anterior chamber that it's not overhydrated and it's not too hard. And slowly implantation, you want to save endothelial cells, of course. And I think then it's followed by one of the most crucial steps. It's the orientation of the graft. There are many ways how to figure out which one is the upside down, whether it's upside down or not. So I use the so-called Montsouris sign, which shows how the scroll of the membrane is positioned. So you can go into the membrane and check whether it's right side up or not very easily and very often. You can use anterior segment OCT, so intraoperative OCT. You can also use stamps, marks, whatever. But the orientation, of course, it's key for success in this surgery. So after that, you go for the unrolling and unfolding the graft. There are several techniques described. So you can use either an air bubble, you can either use Dirisamer technique with 2 cannulas, for example. For that, try to get a pretty shallow chamber, but not too shallow, of course. You need some room for expanding the graft. Yeah, and then you put an air bubble underneath and try to get rid of all the folds. I think this is also pretty important. Gerrit called it the bubble pumping maneuver, that it's unfolds the graft 100%, so that there's no entry for fluid that will probably detach the graft. Yeah, and then keep the air I keep it, I don't remove the air, I leave the patient with about 90% air. Supine position, I think that's important. Talk to the patient, explain why he has air in the eye and why he should keep this position for the next 1 to 3 days. Yeah, and then I think you have a very, very good chance that it's a successful DMEK surgery.